Hello.
Hello.
Uh, Thank you for the opportunity.
You're most
So
welcome
today
always.
I will speak about the term what we generally use and we hear that I am a foodie. So what does a foodie mean? So it's foodie means someone who indulges in different types of food, loves food, and has special interest in food. Okay, so it's to do with consuming, eating, exploring new dishes. So you can diversify it in any ways and understand what does it really mean. So when you ask what kind of a food, do you indulge in? When you ask a foodie what kind of food you indulge in, so most of them will express that what the body really craves for, that is what I want to eat, or feeling of being satisfied in the brain, in my mind, and so what we can really understand is it's more to do with getting satisfied, and where you will hear that most of the people want to get more satisfied with their brain or with their mind when they eat rather than getting satisfied from the stomach. So let's understand what we do with our stomach. So, like, so you can say a stomach is almost like this, twice of this, and when we are going to stuff it with food, okay, and always we're going to eat food, putting it in the stomach. So it has an X capacity, okay, and when you try and eat more than that capacity, so what are we really doing? So we are somewhere not satisfied, and the brain keeps on signaling for more food. So we can say that the brain or the mind is asking for more food despite the stomach being full. And why does this mind or your brain says that I need more food? It's probably because I am sad, I have overworked, uh, I am going to work for long hours. So I am going to use my mental power, my brain for those longer hours. So I need that much food. And there is a lot of energy what the body also requires. So the brain exactly calculates and knows what is coming in the coming hours. So accordingly, it will ask for more food. So you end up eating more and more. And uh, so we can also reach out to wherein it comes to a state of mind where also we crave for certain food and then we handpick certain cuisines or maybe restaurants. So if you most of them would say that I would like to have an X cuisine, or maybe I would like to have a burger, a pizza, a chaat, pani puri, samosas, vada paos, anything. It again depends from person to person what really that person is craving for. So again, it is not the need what the stomach is asking for, it is the brain which is asking for that particular food. So you are going to reach out to that food because you're craving for it from here. So this is what you generally do, and you try and satisfy your brain with whatever you can get satisfied with and consume that kind of food. So another way of how a foodie would also get motivated to more food is we all love buffets, right? So you would love to go there because you would have four starters, maybe veg, non-veg. You have four options of vegetables, three options of non-veg, variety of rice, hand breads, desserts. So it's like a huge spread. So when you see a huge spread, I'm sure that is not the capacity what your really stomach can take in. So what we do is we try and taste something little by little so that you can reach out what is the best. By the time you do that in small pieces, your stomach is already satisfied, but somewhere the brain is still asking for more. So many also what they do is you will come across such people also who say that okay, I'm going for buffet for a lunch, and how about me skipping my first meal? Let me skip my breakfast because I need to explore that entire buffet and need to enjoy that food. So you are somewhere starving yourself, and when you reach out to that food, so you try and consume and eat as much you can. Again, remember the stomach capacity is very small. The size of the stomach is small. However, you keep on overstuffing it. So what will the stomach do? So it has to share, right? Either it has to use the energy and excrete it, and after a certain age, the metabolism slows down. So it has to stay in the body. It will start holding onto the body. Where will it go? It will go in your organs, correct? So this is what we do being a foodie, and we end up eating more than what our body wants. And with the buffet is to more with the slang, what we say it's paisa vasool, should be value for money. So you want to have that particular spread and enjoy. So the enjoyment is again not from here, because here you're really putting a stress on. When you say you enjoy, you're enjoying it right here. So by doing all these things, what are we trying to achieve? So what we are really trying to do with this is we are exploiting every given aspect of eating, and we are satisfying our cravings, and that craving is somewhere going to lead to suppress the stress what you're going through, because somehow you have to satisfy yourself. Either you express it or you put it in. Okay, so it's again a choice what you have, and most of them never express out, they put it in, so they want to keep on stuffing themselves. That is how they would get satisfied. At times when we do such kind of a thing, it is also there's an untimely eating. People really skip meals and reach out to a meal like a dinner, and they really hog that particular meal, be at home, be outside. You really want to have that particular huge plate of food for yourself, because you've not eaten throughout the day, which in long term, by doing all these concepts of being a foodie, there is a lot of health issues and illnesses what one goes through, or the body goes through, and starts remaining with this as a lifestyle illness, or it's an ongoing illness for that particular person. So that again, then the person has to reach out to medicines or certain sort of therapies to make sure that you can still go on, stay healthy, and try and get live with that illness. So there is a small example or a theory what you can really practice on. So it's to do with the understanding of carbohydrates and fats. So the carbohydrates, what I'm really referring is to the food what we really pile on and we stuff ourselves with, which is by default has to be more of carbs. Okay, so take a bread, take a bowl of water, and you can mark the water where it is and put that bread, or you can use anything, rice, just take an example, wheat flour, or any sort of flour. You take that bowl of water, put the bread inside, and keep it for a few hours. You will see the bread will suck all the water in. All right. And if you keep it for longer hours, yes, the water will dry out. So that water has gone into the bread. So what will this thing do when it goes into your stomach in excess? So it is going to suck up all the water from your body. Okay, that is one. And what does the fat do? So you take a spoon of ghee and you just put it in the same amount of water, mark the water line on the ball. The ghee will keep on floating, and just try and keep that same number of hours what you did with the bread, and you would see the water is still there and the ghee is just floating on it. Okay, so that is what fat does to our body. Good fats what we eat, our brain functions on 70% of the fat what we eat. Okay, so somewhere the brain is actually asking for good fats, and is trying to seek that fats from the carbs what we are going to eat from the food, because every food item has a macro, right? Carbs, fats, and protein. So it will try and keep on filling it up because the brain needs that much fat, and you keep on ending having more of carbs. Okay, so this is what the entire process where the brain keeps on functioning and telling the stomach you need to eat more. In this bargain, what really it is doing is, when I said the carbs is going to suck up all the water. Okay, so let's say the person is going through whatever conflict in the body, or rather, I would say with the mind, that particular carb, okay, will reach out to that particular organ, stay there, and the water will reach out there. Okay, and that will make it dehydrated. That is why you would hear people having fatty livers, pancreatic fats, kidneys not functioning well. A very simple example is like maida. Okay, you have samosas, you have all that stuff, whatever is made of maida, and you keep on eating it every day. And above that, the water. So the maida will reach out to an organ, stay there. Let's say that someone is going through a lot of conflict. like a fear or being abandoned, the kidneys, the maida stays there. Okay, suddenly the metabolic rate stops down, and the excretion level also slows down. So it is there, right? Because it has to metabolize. That is how the organs are getting affected. And then again, we can say that the body getting dehydrated, the fat getting accumulated as a protection on that particular organ, and the person keeps on getting obese or putting on weight. So in this entire thing, uh, what the body is actually asking for. Okay. So your body has always been asking for food in form of rightful nutrition, which has to develop your body to grow stronger, healthier, have a better recovery, have a good metabolism, and above all, a stomach feel good factor rather than a brain or a mind feel good factor. So this is what the food is doing if you're trying to become a foodie or if you behave like a foodie. Okay, you are satisfying your brain more. So I would just like to conclude the entire thing by saying that a ray of light that's passing through your window every morning only brings hope for you to start a new beginning to your journey of life, which we term as day. That hope also depends on the wisdom, what choice you make to feed your body throughout the day through your stomach. So I hope this would help you and understand and control your eating cravings and the kind of food what you pick. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm muted. Thank you so much. That was brilliant, absolutely divine. I think I really heard you very keenly about very nice example when you give about the bread. I never thought about it that way. Thank you so much. So we go from here to the next speaker.